coming up on March 10th, a release party for the gentleman sitting next to me. He is Jose Hernandez, local musician, my friend, and thanks so much for stopping in today. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
How are things?
They're great.
Making through the holidays and all that all right?
Yeah, that was always fun. Yeah, no, it was a good holidays with the family and just a lot of weddings and stuff that I play, so
very
good
cool.
times.
Local singer, songwriter, musician, as you can see, plays the guitar, and he'll be playing a song for us at the end of this interview. You've been around for several years, and I want to get into what got you into music and how long you've been playing, but you play a lot in the Plaza District. I remember seeing you in the District House on a lonely winter night 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I think Chelsea was playing that night,
and Chase Kirby
was playing there as well. A fantastic lineup of the three of you. How would you describe your style? That night I was thinking singer-songwriter, but a tremendous voice and good rhythm, but how would you describe your style?
Man, I guess it would be kind of like that. I am, singer-songwriter. I mean, we're in Oklahoma. We have this red dirt kind of feel. It's kind of hard not to be, or to get away from it. It's just a part of the scene that we have here. And so I'd kind of say that it is a passionate, I sing really loudly because I feel that it's, what I'm singing about is important. And so I would say, yeah, I guess you kind of summed it up with, with a loud voice and rhythm. So.
But you have a background in hard rock, is that right?
That's right.
Because that's not what I was hearing that night.
No, my teenage years for up to almost early 20s, I spent just playing hardcore music in the local hardcore scene here. I was a part of a band named Harp and Lyre. Back in those days with a couple of friends, and so yeah, I kind of grew up in that punk hardcore scene, and I guess played into the really loud, passionate kind of style of music that I try to do. So,
are you more acoustic, unplugged, or are you more plugged in?
I like to do both. I really do like to do both. It kind of gives me free range to kind of pick shows that I want to play, and when I have the band behind me, I definitely go plugged in. Sometimes I play electric guitar as well on that. So, but I like to do both, and so.
So what got you started? When was the first time you picked up a guitar? Was it the parents, hey, try this, or was it friends, or you see something on TV, YouTube, or something?
I tend to say that it's because I saw Jimmy Eat World, their music video in the middle when I was a teenager, and the solo in that song kind of made you want to play guitar. But I gotta say that, I've always just loved music as a kid, and I think what ended up happening that my aunt bought me a guitar. They came back from vacation in Mexico and brought me a small, just flamenco style guitar.
Cool.
And I just kind of learned by myself, and with friends that I kind of connected with friends in high school that also played music, and they just kind of brought me in their circles, and yeah, I just started playing on from there. So.
We mentioned Chase and Chelsea off the top. Is the local scene kind of that way that you mentioned you learned to play by playing with various people? Is it still kind of that way? Just kind of.
Yeah, I love the scene here because it is so open and welcoming to other musicians. I met a lot of good friends. Chase Kirby's definitely one of the folks that brought me into the scene and kind of of singer-songwriter, of kind of more of the band aspect, coming from a hardcore background. So yeah, it's kind of that you play with these folks all around the city, and they kind of just bring you in their fold and in their groups, and you learn from there. You kind of learn what you should do, how you should perform, what's a good performance, what isn't, and it's definitely it's a great experience. The Oklahoma City scene is fantastic.
Chatting with Jose Hernandez, a local musician. He has a release party coming out March 10th, which means you have some music behind this, I'm assuming?
Yes. So it's these 5 tracks that I've been working on we've been in the process of recording for about 2 years almost.
I was going to ask, how long has this been?
It's been a long time,
okay.
And I think it's just because we've kind of hit, I paid for the whole thing myself, so I've kind of hit, some fun. I had to kind of square away some money, so I'd work for a while and pay off a big chunk and do the same. But it took about 2 years to do it. A great engineer, great guy, Joe Bello from Gum helped me with that,
yep.
And we kind of really sat down with the other guys in the band and kind of.
Saw them a few years ago at Norman Music Festival. They're great sound.
They're fantastic, yeah. And he has a great ear for these kind of because this album's it's passionate in the sense that everything's kind of composed towards the lyrics and what the feel of the song is, and he's really good at having a great ear at picking that out. So he's definitely helped out a lot with that.
What's behind the 5 songs? What are these 5 songs about?
I mean, it's not a theme. It's not a cohesive theme, but it is definitely a lot of life questioning. I came, like I said, from a hardcore background, right? But in that hardcore background was was really in ministry, kind of a Christian ministry thing that we did. But that the album really is kind of like a reflection of coming back from that side of my life, and it's kind of asking questions. It's really family, about friends, family, and kind of like my faith that I used to have. But yeah, so that's kind of what it's about.
The Oklahoman's Nathan Poppy had a story on you and released one of your songs, Hey Man, I
That's right.
believe, which I assume is on this album.
Yes.
You can also hear that on his SoundCloud account. Nathan had that on a blog a few months ago. And I was reading the story, rereading his story in advance of this interview. And you said that in the middle of the night you would pick up a guitar and ask some questions. And I thought that was well said, but what does that mean?
At the time I was living with a couple of friends. I was kind of couch surfing. They let me stay at their house. These are guys that I lived with for a long time in this huge house. But we all downgraded, and a lot of us kind of married off. And so I'm here kind of crashing on the couch. And during this time in my life, I was really kind of asking questions about God. I mean, we're in Oklahoma. Everyone here
Sure.
Either believes in God or doesn't. But we definitely have a strong background here in Oklahoma of that. And so I was just kind of asking these really tough questions because, without getting too into it, because I think it's kind of like a longer story than what I should say, but it really is asking the tougher questions that I had about faith, life, and religion, things like that, and where I was coming from. And so that song was written. It was written in the middle of the night. It was written in a kind of not a dark place, but a very existential kind of atmosphere in my life. So.
That's interesting, but that kind of fuels the creativity, right?
It does, yeah. And I mean, that's really, that's what I've always done with music. I mean, even as a kid when I started playing, and I played hardcore music, it was just more of it was a release of some sort. And so that's what this is what this album is. It's just a release of these ideas and these questions that I had for years and never quite had the, I guess, just the heart to really go through with it. And so.
Do you prefer, and this sets up my next question, playing solo or with a band?
Man, I don't know. Oh, the band's amazing. There's something different. The band is a monster. I feel like I'm a different monster with the band. By myself, it's fun. I enjoy it. It's chill. And I think a lot of musicians that are singer-songwriters in Oklahoma City would kind of also agree with me that it is just a different monster. You feel more energetic. So I would say, yeah, the band I think I enjoy a lot more.
Because back to Nathan's article, you had something else in there I thought was interesting. You said you didn't think people cared you were playing music until you had a band. Why'd that make a difference? What gave you that perception of?
Perception of the scene? I think that's kind of I kind of might have said that off the cuff a little too quickly, but
Sure.
I think that what I meant by that is that it's just more interesting to see a band than it is to see one person, unless you're someone that just can really control that crowd and really kind of drop a good feeling in the crowd. But I think for me it is just more of a bigger platform for me. A band is kind of different. You can add a lot more different sounds, a lot more interesting things. You can add harmonies and such. So I would say, yeah, I mean, that would probably be why, yeah.
It's good stuff. He's Jose Hernandez describing his musical style. We should talk about your band. You are currently playing with, as I find them, the Black Magic Waters.
That's right, yeah.
All right, so who are these guys?
Well, I've kind of interchanged a few dudes, but the main guys were, just some close friends that I had that I played with throughout the years, and just kind of, that's kind of how it kind of came to be. The album was originally going to be an acoustic album, and so we kind of practiced a few times, and they all kind of wanted to be a part of it as well, and so that's kind of how I met them. Just a few friends that I've played in the city with. So.
Your release party, March 10th, when and where?
It's going to be at the District House, like I said, March 10th, and it's I believe it starts at 8 o'clock, and it's free. Donations are welcomed, but it is a free show. It's during a second Friday,
Great.
And so it's I'm hoping to get as many people in and out of there. We have Blake Burgess opening up the show. Dirty Little Betties are going to also do a release with us, and so I think it's going to be a big party. a lot of these two bands are, you know, fantastic in their own right, and so they also bring the party. So it's just, I'm hoping that we have a good time, and it's just, you know, a good experience. We could all talk about it later. So.
All right, well said. He's Jose Hernandez, the release party. March 10th, we're going to stop down now, and in just a few seconds, you will hear him playing some songs. Jose, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. This song is called Good Times, and it's off the new album that I have out. Self-titled Jose Hernandez and the Black Magic Waters. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, at 16 years old, you were told your smile could take away the pain, but you're not sure if you feel that way. You were always in a boys with a slight disposition for passing you around like some kind of throwaway toy. And you say, I'm not here for a long time. Yeah, I'm just here for a good time. Yeah, a good time. And you say, I'm not here for a long time. Yeah, I'm just here for a good time. Yeah, a good time. Yeah, you wondered if he loved you. Oh, the lonely, lonely nights you keep on praying alone, always asking, does he love you at all? Yeah, you waver in your value. Oh, the lonely, lonely nights you keep on praying alone, always asking, does he love me at all? And you say, I'm not here for a long time. Yeah, I'm just here for a good time. Yeah, a good time. And you say, I'm not here for a long time. Yeah, I'm just here for a good time. Yeah, a good time. One of these awful days, I'm gonna pack up and leave. Yeah, 40s don't feel so far away. And you say, I'm not here for a long time. Yeah, I'm just here for a good time. Yeah, a good time. And you say, I'm not here for a long time. Yeah, I'm just here for a good time.